Hey guys, what is up? Zero here, and welcome back to Fruits of the Literature Club, Chapter 5, Sayori Route. In the last episode, we were in a cabin with Sayori. We were camping. We were having some s'mores. No, we didn't have any s'mores. There was no s'mores there. It was just sad backstories. There was no s'mores.
No s'mores. There was zero s'mores.
0 out of 10. No, 0 out of 10. No s'mores. Needs more s'mores.
We wish there was s'mores.
Well, that happened in part 1, though. Part 2, we were trying to escape the cabin with Sayori. We ended up getting stabbed in the back by somebody.
That's always fun.
Yeah, and then we had to teach Sayori how to stitch up a wound.
Okay, Sayori, home ec class time.
Yeah, alright, Sayori. The home ec. They don't teach you that in home ec. That's like health class.
Home ec is cooking and sewing.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't think they tell you how to sew people.
No, but it's like the same thing.
Sure, it's dolls. I don't think it's actual flesh.
No, but
I must
it's like
have-
the same thing.
I must have missed that lesson. But anyway.
Wait, you missed the lesson. You're supposed to cut your arm open and then they teach you to
Oh,
sew
God.
back up with fishing wire.
Of course. Oh, I love the youth. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
I love the education system. So, I think that's all that happened last episode. Was that, yeah, we were running with Sayori, she stitched us up, and we're ready to go? Yeah? Yeah, okay. Alright, so, let's talk about some things I said in the last episode, though, before we continue. For people who just want to watch the episode, you can just probably skip past this if you really don't care. So, I set up some problems that I had with the last episode, and, some people wanted to say some things to help me out. Some people, for some reason, a lot of people thought that one of my main points was the bullet grazing thing, when I just mentioned that at the end of the episode, and I feel like I'm pretty sure I even stated I'm not entirely sure if he actually got hit by the bullet or not. But for some reason, a lot of people thought that was a really big main point that I was making. When it wasn't. I really didn't know about the bullet, guys. I was just curious because I couldn't really remember. So, the bullet thing, I forgot it grazed him. I thought it went into him. It really wasn't that big of a plot point. I was just talking about how MC's walking with all this.
Yeah, that's how his shoulder got popped out. This is
But
bullet grazed it.
yeah, like a while ago. It was like chapter 4, I'm pretty sure. Then he popped it back in.
Mhm.
But anyway, that aside, I had other issues. So I later learned, some people actually helped me in the comments. There are some people who actually have military experience, and they said that the military actually doesn't teach you the STAR method, which was really weird to me, because I was like, why don't they use the STAR method? But whatever, I'm not going to sit here and question the military. Apparently there are reasons for why they use the Moss. Granted, the STAR method probably does seem like a time waster, to be honest, and the Moss method's probably way faster, so it makes sense why they probably use the Moss instead of the STAR method. So, but there's that. So, that problem aside, another problem I had was with Sayori. I was saying that Sayori should be a little tougher. Apparently, a lot of people took that as, I want Sayori to just be like, alright, MC, I'll stitch you up, and just start stitching him up right away. I wasn't trying to say that. My point was, I feel like Sayori should be a little tougher, like a little bit tougher. I'm not trying to say Sayori's gonna go around guns blazing shooting people. I'm saying that Sayori is probably gonna be like, she's in the mindset of, okay, I need to help out. I need to start doing shit now. This is work. It's go time. Like, now, of course, she would still be timid when it would come to stitching somebody. Sure. But I feel like she would be somewhat like, okay, next step. Like, I'm ready. I think I'm doing this right. But, like, she would be doing it.
Yeah.
So that's what I was like, I just said she'd be a little tougher. So far, she's been acting pretty normal and human. It's just a little tougher. Just a little bit. What was another issue? Oh yeah, Monika. The whole Monika thing of her showing up into the thing. So, something that some people were trying to say was they're like, oh, Monika did signal MC to show up at the place to meet with him. She didn't. I watched back the scene. There is an instant cut from Monika talking to the guy on the phone and to her walking to the forest, meaning there was no time for her to signal, meaning that there was no scene or anything to tell us that she signaled MC, which is still something I'm still not totally okay with. Like, You can be okay with it, that's fine. Me, personally, I feel like it's not a Monika thing to do. I really feel like what Monika would do is she would try to think of a plan, or she'll try to think of a way out of this. I don't think she would just be like, okay, time to show up and hope they give me Sayori back, or just kill me. That works too. Because another thing that kind of sucked is that Monika went in there without a plan, and before that said, I really wish Zero was here, and I don't like that. I'll talk about Monika's character at the end of Sayori's route. I'll talk about some things I'm not entirely a fan of Monika's character, mostly in her route, where you could totally see what my problems are. But yeah, I don't like that because it doesn't sound like Monika. It just sounds like a lot of the things that Monika does, or a lot of things that happen, are just made to make the MC look cool. Like, these girls seem like they're all worthless, and they're just doing things so that the MC can show up and be like, don't worry, I am here. Like, it just seems like that, and I'm like, I think Monika would try to think of something, any plan. I'm not saying Monika, because some people are saying, oh, she can't attack them because they kill Sayori. Not saying she has to attack them. Some way, try to hint the MC that, hey, maybe you should, come to the forest or something. Like, try to give them a hint.
Literally, all she had to do was write on a little piece of paper, meet me in the forest, then give it to him. That's all she had to do.
Or, like, put it outside his doorway, because that's the thing. They're not at school anymore. But, yeah, like, put it outside his door. Paste it on his door. Something. Because they're not going to know where she's walking. She can walk by his house and drop it on the floor if she really wanted to. Or she can do something. Like, I feel like Monika, or at least, like I said, have a plan. Or at least make it, at least make it known that Monika is just buying time for him to show up. Because, like, it just made Monika just made her look like a damsel. Which is something I'll get into again at the end of Sayori route. But yeah, I think that was all of the things that I covered before. I do appreciate some of the people who did agree with some of the things I said, and I do still appreciate the people who didn't agree with me. Not like I hate you people either. It's nice to form some conversation. It's nice to know that not all of you will just blindly approve or agree with anything I say. It's nice. Thank you. But also, another thing I just remembered I gotta bring up is that someone said something which was funny. They were like, Zero, you're being really nitpicky with this mod. And then I replied saying, well, I act like this with a lot of other mods, but it's never a problem. But now it's a problem with fruits. And they even brought up saying, yeah, you're right. So that proves that, guys, I'm just trying to treat this mod fairly. I'm not trying to hate on fruits just to hate on it. I'm actually trying to treat it fairly compared to other mods. Because I like fruits. I like it. It's still A tier on my tier list. I think it's a good mod. It's just, I also want to make sure I know everything that's wrong with it, or if I feel like something's wrong, I'm going to say it. I'm going to share my opinion. I want to share my opinion so that people can know, and so I can give feedback to the mod creators.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not doing it so I can be like, fruits fucking sucks! I'm doing it so I can be like, hey, this is my problem with this mod. There you go. You can agree with me, or you can disagree. I'm not gonna sit here and really be like, how dare you disagree? Like I said, I'm fine with you people disagreeing with me with the comments. It's fine. If anything, it shows me that you guys don't just get swindled by whatever I say. I'd rather you actually make your own opinions than just agree 100% with mine.
Yeah.
Because that means that, hey, I don't just have some fan base that I'm controlling. Yeah, I think that's everything. That was 8 minutes. Jesus. There's a lot of stuff I had to go over.
Like how in the beginning you're like, you can skip this if you want. They're probably pressing the double tap.
No, they don't have to. I'm gonna put a timestamp of when it actually starts in the editing. Because a lot of big, long talk there. But yeah.
They're just like, oh my god, shut up!
Well, no, the people skipping, they'll be fine. They can just click the timestamp. For people who watch this, they're the people who would... If you watch this, you can't say shut up. You willingly chose this. You chose to listen to my rant. Not even really a rant. I just wanted to make things clearer. But yeah. Let's continue. Also, I like Sayori's route so far. I may point out some flaws. Doesn't mean I fucking hate it. I'm actually enjoying her route. I think it's really well done so far. Well, besides one thing, but again, talk about it later. Maybe they'll bring it up. Maybe. Want to finish the route first. But yeah, again, Talk about it later, at the end of her route. Yeah. Now, let's play the mod.
Let's finally begin.
It's been 10 minutes, 10-minute mark.
10 minutes
I mean, it's fine. This means they get a longer episode. Finally done with that assignment. Seriously, why do us division chiefs get struck with abrasive grunt work at times? At least I can rest my head at my desk for a while. Whew, my comfy, cozy little office. At least I know I can get some rest here for a bit. It's late, and I really don't want to be driving right now. Nah, why's my pager lit up? Son of a bitch. Are you serious? The message on my pager's from Zero. Julia, situation at the forest on the northeast side of town. Sayori's there, and I'm going. Make sure to keep her safe when she gets home. Is this idiot really going to do what I think he is? I throw myself out of my seat and start to dash out of the building into my car. Reaching my car, I quickly get into the driver's seat while dialing Zero's number. No answer, just his voicemail. I seriously hope he's okay. Lately, he has been constantly looking for his girlfriend, and he's gone to some very unnecessary lengths, which are endearing in his own life without the concern for others, which are endangering his own life without the concern for others. Granted, I don't question what he does inside the company as long as it doesn't leak anything, but he's going to a length that Ashley and I were only afraid of. My stomach feeling queasy, I try to call Zero's commission phone one more time. But once again, I'm directed to his voicemail, which skyrockets my fears. He absolutely never ignores calls from his commissioned phone, so he's either hurt or worse. I pull out of the parking lot and onto a main roadway that leads into town. Realizing that Monika's involved, I try to look at her number in my phone. I remember that Zero repeated her number to me when I requested it after she was hospitalized. Maybe I can call her and find out what exactly is happening down there. I go through my call logs, and I eventually locate Monika's number and give it a call. Hello? Monika, this is Julia. Where are you? Julia? I'm on my way to Sayori's house. I was in the forest because the people who kidnapped her called me and said if I didn't come, they would kill her. What about Zero? Where is he? I don't know. He met up with me and then ran to the forest after Sayori. I started to run away after he left. He said to go to her house and call the police. Where in the forest did you see him run off to? I can't remember. I was too scared and dazed to really notice specifically. Damn it. Listen, Sayori's house is right next to Zero's. Instead of going to her house, why don't you head to his and I'll meet you there. I'll call the police and we'll get the officers out there to help find Sayori and Zero. Right, I understand. How long until you get there? About 15 minutes. I'm on the road into town right now. Thank you. Be safe, Monika. I end the call and start to accelerate faster down the road. The growl of the engine grows louder and louder as my speed increases. I'm hoping for the best, that Zero and Sayori are safe. Throughout the last week, we've both learned that the group that abducted Sayori is very organized and ruthless. They will not hesitate to do horrible things to her, especially since Zero is now involved. And if something happens to Sayori, then images of what Zero is capable of flash to my mind in horror. But even worse images flash in my mind of what I could find when we do find him. A sick feeling starts to develop in my stomach, but I try to swallow the saliva in my mouth and keep going. After a long silence, I start to enter the city and immediately head to Zero's house. His house isn't that far now, but that doesn't mean Monika is safe. If she was able to get out of the forest, she could have a tail. And if she does have a tail, I need to make sure that she loses it. However, I'm going to need to make sure Zero is found, alive or not. Still keeping my eyes on the road, I reach over to the passenger seat and grab my phone. Pressing a quick dial number on the dial pad, I place the phone in my ear and wait for the other line to answer. I walk around the bend of the sidewalk that leads me to Zero and Sayori Street. The ominously dark night makes me even more... Oh wait, it's Monika, I think.
Monika, yeah, I was gonna say that.
But why show her? It confused me. I walk around the bend on the sidewalk that leads me to Zero and Sayori Street. The ominously dark night makes me even more terrified. I really hope that they're okay. My fears have been eating at my mind since I left the forest against my will. While I understand why Zero forced me to leave, I still wish I could have helped in some way. That's a Monika thing to do. I couldn't do anything but watch as my friend was being hurt in front of me and nearly dying myself. Back before Zero and the other girls joined the club, I had been very lonely. And I don't want to lose them. Huh? Which is why I think she would try harder to have a plan. I'm just saying.
We'll get to that. Just continue.
I'm just saying. That's why I think she'd try harder with a plan. I think I heard something behind me. Looking over my shoulder, I don't see anything or anyone around. Maybe a car that drove down the street opposite of me, but nothing really of importance. Well, I guess the events of tonight are still making me super paranoid. A pair of hands wrap around my waist and immediately start to lift me up. Hey! Get off me! Oh god. I start to bang my fists against the hands and arms that are restricting me, but nothing works. They keep trying to lift me up. This person's breath rafts against the back of my neck. Still trying to frantically get away from my captor, I swing my elbow backward, trying to make contact with their head. A sudden pain shoots my forearm as my elbow strikes something hard. The hands around my waist release me and I fall to the ground. Clutching at my elbow and turning onto my back, I see a middle-aged man in a similar clothing to the guys who were holding Sayori at the forest. This is one of those guys! Gasping, I try to crawl backward away from him. His eyes make contact with mine and immediately give me a "you're going to pay for that" look. My stomach drops and I try to crawl away much quicker. He starts to walk up towards me. What do? Help me! I start to scream as loudly as I can to the night sky, hoping someone would come looking and see this. His eyes bulge out of his head and he looks around in panic. Why'd you have to scream? I'll just make this quick then. He walks over to me, grabs my foot and aggressively pulls me towards him. I continue to scream as loud as I can, kicking my other foot at his hand. Just trying everything I can to get away. As his face gets close to mine again, arms wrap around his neck and he's pulled up and off of me. Huh? Gah! A tall, black silhouette figure pulls the man off me. They both move backward until a streetlight reveals my savior. A tall, blonde woman in a black, form-fitting suit has the man who was attacking me in a headlock. His back is locked upwards and he squirms around in her hands. Julia! She doesn't respond. She drags the man over to a car that's parked on the other side of a shrub, perfectly concealing it from our view, and slams his head against the hood. A sound I never thought I'd want to hear come from the man's head. After that, his body goes limp and Julia kicks it to the side. She walks over to me quickly and helps me up. Julia! Sweetheart, you okay? She quickly checks up and down my arms and body for obvious injuries. I nod my head and immediately feel tears burn at my eyes. She pats my shoulder and looks around. I'm sorry I wasn't a minute earlier. I'm just grateful you showed up at all. What's gonna happen to him? The police are on their way. They already know what's going on, so he'll be taken into custody. Right. Now hurry and get into Zero's house. Here's his key. Julia hands me a small, copper-colored key and turns away from me. I'll pull my car up to the driveway and make sure officers find this piece of shit here. Got it. Closing the door behind me and turning on the light, I lean on the wall and sigh. This is all so tiring. I can only imagine how Sayori and Zero are feeling right now. I make my way over to the couch in the living room and sit down. Only now do I realize my hands are shaking. The front door opens and closes. Julia approaches me. She has a seat across from me and looks into my eyes warmly. You okay? Yeah, just a little shaken up. Of course you are. This isn't something that normally happens to people. It's only natural to be scared and in some degree of shock. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me everything about what happened earlier? Yeah, I can. I clear my throat and explain what happened regarding the call and the meeting at the forest. Through the entire thing, Julia's eyes are coldly professional. Almost like Zero's. Once finished, she looks back and purses her lips, like what I told her scared her. Maybe I shouldn't have said as much as I did. Thank you for all this. I'll tell everything to the officers. Just rest up in here. You're too exhausted to really keep going through this. Will do. Thank you. I lie horizontally on the couch and watch Julia walk towards the kitchen and peer out one of the windows. Maybe if I rest my head a bit, I can calm down and at least relax. Monika leans her head back onto the couch. I watch her in the reflection on a silver pot. To see such a young girl involved in something like this breaks my heart. But not as much as knowing that someone I've already considered a son or nephew is directly in the middle of it. When all he wanted was to come to this city and live a normal life, but was never actually able to escape the chaos he was born in. When I heard he did want a normal life, it made me chuckle inside. It's such a pure and innocent thing to desire. But in our field, once you're in, you won't get out unless you die. And Zero knows this very well. My phone vibrates, startling me out of my thoughts. Looking at the text message, it's a confirmation that the police have been dispatched to the forest and were briefed. And one other officer is coming by to take care of the guy that I've zip-tied on the roof. On the road. On the roof.
On the roof!
For now, I'm going to stay by Monika to make sure she's safe. I was right about her having a tail. A woman's intuition never steers us wrong. I let myself lean over the counter and breathe freely for a moment. Even I'm being hit with a wave of stress because of all this. But nevertheless, it's not my first rodeo. When the police get to the forest, they'll be on cleanup as well as searching for Zero and Sayori. I'd go up there and help them look, since I'm more easily able to track Zero, but Monika's safer with me here. Leaning my left hip against the counter, a sudden fit of discomfort stings at me. Oh! My handgun's still strapped to my hip, and it doesn't make for pillow's comfort. That's for damn sure. Might as well just relax and wait for the inevitable to happen. Alright, so I liked how that one scene was handled with the Monika and the guy. I mean, technically, yes, she was caught in surprise. I'm not gonna sit here and think she's gonna fight. She tried. I'll definitely give her credit for that. They at least had that happen. Instead of just, like, sitting there crying, she was actually, see, that's what I wanted, though. She was, like, thinking of a plan. Like, one, she went for an elbow, because, you know, that's the best you can do. That didn't work, so she crawled away. Two, went to the other plan, we're in a neighborhood. Scream. If you draw attention, he's not gonna want to do anything. So it's like, that's what I'm saying. That's the Monika I like. It's the Monika that can do things in a situation. It's like she can think about... I feel like Monika can make calls in a stressful situation. She's a leader. Yeah. So like, she can do that. So I was like, I like that scene. Like, even in like, he grabs her foot, she's just kicking, really. There's not much she can do. I'm not expecting Monika to be like, I gave him a roundhouse kick. Obviously, the most she can do is kick, and yeah, at that point, she was helpless, because she really couldn't do it. She was caught by surprise. There wasn't much she could do.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was handled perfectly fine. I like that. And another Monika thing was her saying how she cares about her friends. She's like, she wishes she could do more. She wants to help. That's Monika's thing. She's helpful. She likes being helpful. She doesn't like being useless. That's why I think it'd be really cool if she was a sidekick. But we'll have to wait, because maybe there's a mod that might do something like that.
Yeah, maybe.
That might be being made by someone you guys know very well.
Maybe, perhaps.
Or at least being developed by people you know, by two exact people you know very well. To start with a Z and an M. Anyway.
Okay, you're giving them one too many hints.
Let's proceed. Alright, let's take a rest here. Sayori's breathing is labored, and she keeps placing her hands onto her back. The poor girl was walking for almost just a straight hour, and she hasn't complained once about the pain in her leg or how tired she is. She really is a trooper. However, at the same time, she can't keep going like this. This forest is massive, and I don't think we're close to the border of it yet. The most I can do for now is let her rest for a bit. You doing okay? Yeah, just a little tired. Sit down for a while. I pushed her to a nearby rock that looks comfortable enough for her to sit on. I'm okay. Listen to me. I'm going to sit down and rest. Oh, alright. I take her hand in mine and get her to the rock and help her sit down. She looks up at me with her sparkling blue eyes and smiles. Thank you for caring for me. Don't mention it. You aren't really conditioned to be as active as we were tonight. But, nevertheless, I'm proud that you're holding up. Really? Of course. Sayori's been holding back her tears ever since I first met up with her earlier. She's scared, she's in pain, she's barely able to hold in any anxiety she's feeling. But her composure throughout all of this makes me respect her even more. I never would have expected a girl like Sayori to be able to, I guess, really steal her resolve despite the circumstances. That's what I'm saying. She's a tough girl. I pat her gently on the shoulder and look into her eyes. She rests her arms on her legs and leans forward. Gently rubbing my hand on her back, I try to offer her words of encouragement. Just rest for a bit, Sayori. I'm sorry I'm so slow. Don't apologize for that. You're doing great. We're almost out of here. Once you're ready to go, we'll make it this last stretch. Do you really think we can get out of here? I wouldn't be sitting here with you while you were too tired to move if I didn't. Just sit here for a moment. I'm going to try to see if I have a signal to call for someone. Okay. Lifting my hand up and offer back, I grab my commission phone from my pocket and check the signal. None. Well, this is just peachy. Without signal, I can't contact Julia about what's going on. Thank God that she got my page earlier. I know I give her a hard time, but I do come to trust her at times like these. A bit like this. One of my concerns is if she trusts me. But that's a story for another time. Right now, my only focus is to get Sayori out of this godforsaken forest. Wait a second. I hear sirens. I immediately look back to Sayori. Her eyes meet with mine with relieved elation. We're close enough to the border of the forest that we can hear the sirens as they approach. If we can reach the road in time, we can get to help. Ah! You think you could keep going now? Of course! Let's go! Sayori stands up and starts to walk quickly towards the sound. I decide to stay right behind her, just in case there's anyone behind who wants to stop us from getting out. I stay silent and keep listening to the sirens as they get closer. It sounds as if they're going to the main entrance of the forest. There's a bunch of campsites that a majority of people congregate. As long as I can get Sayori to an officer, she can explain everything that's happened. Both of us can get our wounds tended to, and we can finally end this nightmare. Huh? My phone goes off, startling me out of my thought-filled daze. My thumb hesitates to press the answer button because there are one or two reasons I'm receiving this call right now. Either Zero and Sarah have been found safe, or they've been found dead. Just the latter crossing my mind is enough to make my stomach drop in anxiety. Mustering up the courage to press the answer button, I bring the phone to my ear. Ma'am? What is it? 4219 and the girl have been found. They have? Where are they? They're being taken to the hospital currently. They both were found with serious injuries that required immediate attention. That's fine. What were you able to gather from the situation? Well, ma'am, I have a total of 12 bodies being taken to the medical examiner's office. Several others have been detained and are en route to the field's office downtown. Good. I'll be heading to the hospital shortly. Wrap everything up there and I'll get on the report tomorrow. Actually, ma'am, don't worry about the report. I can take care of that for you. You have other, more pressing matters to attend to tonight. Thank you, Miyuki. I owe you lunch for this. You're very welcome, ma'am. I end the call and turn to Monika, who was looking at me anxiously awaiting any piece of information. You able to move? Yeah? Why? We're going to the hospital. I walk over to the couch and help Monika up to her feet. At first she struggles to stay balanced, but then manages to keep herself upright. I nearly scoff at her, but then realize that she was beaten pretty hard earlier, so there's a big chance she has a concussion, or her equilibrium has been thrown off. Either way, bringing her with me to the hospital will benefit her as well. She, too, needs to be checked on. Sometimes the damage is not physically seen on the body, and I'm slightly concerned about if she has any internal damage. As Monika and I leave, I lock the door behind us. Monika and I walk into the hospital reception and get her checked in. Afterward, I ask about the status of Zero and Sayori, giving the nurse my credentials and explaining I'm Zero's legal guardian. She explains to me that Zero is currently undergoing treatment and cannot be seen until it's completed, and Sayori is still being examined. I look around the waiting room and sit down next to Monika. How are you feeling? I have a really bad headache, but I'll be fine. Good. Still, we need to get you seen to make sure you don't have any serious damage. I mean, I am a little dizzy, but not really to the point where I think a doctor is necessary. You never know, Monica. Simply punching someone in the jaw once can lead to a multitude of medical complications. And no offense, but you got beaten pretty hard earlier. None taken, I understand. Plus, we can't really do anything until Zero and Sayori are done, so we might as well knock this out really quickly. Right. After about 10 minutes of us waiting, the nurse comes out and calls for Monica. As Monica tries to stand up, I look her in the eyes and place my hand on her shoulder. You gonna be okay going in there alone? Yeah, of course. I may not look like it, but I'm okay with being alone. Aw, Monica. Not saying another word, Monica goes with the nurse and disappears. Yeah, she ain't no little girl. After what seems like an eternity, the receptionist calls out to me. When I approach the desk, while holding her desk phone in one hand, she points down the hall with the other. Zero's down the hall, turn left, room 105. Thank you. Passing by the elevators that lead to the floors above, I turn left down a hallway that eventually leads me to numbered hospital rooms. Once I get to one listed as 105, I open the door. The door to my room opens, and Julia walks in. Once she and I make eye contact, she runs over and hugs me. Gah! Woman, get off of me! Her arms wrap around me, rub against my arm, shoulder, and back. All of the places that were injured tonight. I grab her arms and try to pull her off of me, but her grip on me is unexpectedly tight. Thank God you're okay. What? Julia doesn't say anything else afterward. She remains silent and gently rocks back and forth during her hug. Of course I'm okay. What? Did you think I was going to die or something? You don't want that answer. Julia's behaving rather oddly, and, to be honest, it's throwing me off. The last time she hugged me like this was when Ashley died. All of a sudden, it hits me. She was worried about losing me. I guess I just assumed that Julia would not worry about me regardless of what was happening. She was one of the people who trained me, but she also is the one who was caring for me. Understanding the stress she must have been under, I wrap my arms around her as well, ignoring the sharp stinging in my shoulder. I'm okay, Julia. I promise you. She releases me and looks me in the eyes. I'm glad to hear. What happened to you? I take off my shirt and show her the various places I was hurt. She notices my back. She silently huffs. The fishing line that Sayori used to stitch me up has been removed and replaced with something more professional and medical grade, which did help ease the pain a bit. As for my shoulder that was dislocated, that just needs time to rest. One of the bullets that grazed my arm didn't cause too much damage, so nothing was really needed for that. After inspecting me, Julia sits down on one of the nearby chairs and crosses her legs. How's Sayori? She's fine. I was able to get her out safely. Her inner thigh was sprained and she had some deep cuts on both her arms and stomach. But nothing too serious. She got really lucky. Yeah, she did. You did something seriously stupid tonight, but you got her back. Me risking my life for her was not stupid. It was something I knew the risk to and still took it. Sayori doesn't deserve any of this, and if I had any way of stopping her pain, I was going to do it. I see. Well, you're lucky I got your message. If I hadn't, you would probably still be in the forest, or dead. I'm very much aware of that, Julia. I had to rely on you, which is a rare thing. Hey! But I knew I could rely on you. Why do you always have to say things like that? Julia's face flushes and she looks away. I put my shirt back on and gently stretch. So, heard Monika's here at the hospital. Huh? How did you know? Your assistant told me you were taking her here with you. Yes, she's here. She's also getting checked out. It looks as if her equilibrium is off. Hearing that slightly pisses me off. I grip my hand to a fist to remember what that guy did to Monika. I held back on killing him. I really shouldn't have. But nothing looks too serious. It's just better safe than sorry. I guess. I stand up from my seat on the hospital bed and stretch once more. Well, I don't see a reason to stay in the room anymore. Let's leave and wait for Sayori outside. You need to rest, Zero. You may not think so, but you look extremely exhausted. Shut up. I'm fine. No, sit down. Julia, I'm fine. I raised my voice enough to get her to submit. I know I look tired. It's because I am tired. But the night isn't over yet. It won't be for a while. I look into Julia's eyes and try to reassure her, but it doesn't look like it's successful. You're so difficult. You have the opportunity to actually rest for a bit until your friends are released, and here you are rejecting that opportunity. Julia, I've never been the one to rest. Ashley taught me that. And I still get pissed off at her over it. Even she pushed herself too hard at times. That doesn't mean you have to. You're safe. Everything's over and you can rest now. Not until Sayori's completely safe and all the bastards involved in this fry. I understand. Thank you, Julia. Since our night has been very eventful. However, it was not the first like this. There was a time before where I spent every last ounce of energy I had to protect someone close to me. And during the times you are absolutely certain there is no turning back, you accept the consequences you're inevitably going to face. And the consequences to come, I'm going to accept. After about 5 minutes of solid, intense silence, I decided to get the elephant out of the room. I turned to Julia and leaned against the wall next to her. So, what's the plan? My assistant's running up a report about tonight's events. It's gonna be a damn long one, too. Her voice flares slightly with irritation as she turns her head to look at me. Not only are their bodies recovered needing to be examined and documented, so are the live people we detained. How many did the local PD arrest? Not as many as I would have liked. Nevertheless, they're being processed right now, and hopefully we can come up with something. Let me know if anything does come up. You'll be the first to know. Thanks, Jules. I'm pretty sure the girls are finished up by now. We're going to go outside and wait for them. Right, I'll get all of you discharged. Julia stands up, gently passes me on my good shoulder, and leaves the room. I follow her and go to the waiting room. Walking into the waiting room, I spot Monika sitting down in one of the chairs. Her eyes widen when she sees me.
Zero, you're alright.
She outstretches her arms to give me a hug, but I'd stop her before she can make contact. Sorry, it's just my back and shoulder don't really feel all that up to being hugged.
I understand.
What did the doctor say about your head?
I have a mild concussion, so nothing too serious. I'll be fine.
Glad to hear. Monika's okay. Thank God. I hate to admit it, but I was actually pretty worried about her after I sent her away from the forest. The prick who attacked her was pretty brutal. Glad I showed up when I did. If I was a minute later, I don't think she would have been in as good shape. Probably because she'd be working out. Her face muscles are really strong. She can take some hits. Man punched her like 10 times, so I'm definitely, like, Monika must have strong face muscles.
He punched her 10 times, and all she got was a minor concussion.
That's either to say something about that guy's punching or Monika's ability to take a punch.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of both. No, his punches have to be strong. He's a fucking criminal. Monika could take a punch.
Maybe he was one of, like, the worst, or, like...
Maybe not, though. He seemed like he was the one who was in charge, so he had to be at least of some high level. Could have been a weakling, but still. Maybe Monika could really just take a fucking punch. She's athletic. Monika went to an extreme length for Sayori. A length that not many would be willing to go. I respect Monika for that. Contrary to my own belief, I couldn't have saved Sayori tonight if it wasn't for her. Without saying another word, I muster up enough energy to ignore the pain in my back and my arm as I wrap my arms around Monika.
Huh?
Thank you, Monika. Thank you. Monika doesn't reply. She wraps her arms around me and gently squeezes. After a moment of silence, we let go of each other and I feel someone standing behind me. Turning around to see Sayori walking towards me with a relieved expression on her face. We lock eyes for a moment before she runs and hugs me. Her arms wrap around me for some reason, I feel oddly warm from it. I return her hug by wrapping my left arm around her back and my hand on the back of her head, securing her to me. Again, we have a moment of silence. Feeling Sayori in my arms is something that feels so surreal. Just hours ago, I nearly lost her forever. But here she is. Thank God. The weight of the entire night is now beginning to take its toll on me. My muscles are sore and scream at me to stop moving. My breathing is labored and I'm covered in sweat, dirt, blood, and I'm mentally exhausted. Even formulating thoughts right now is taking a lot more energy than it should. Sayori pulls away from the hug and looks up into my eyes.
Zero, you okay?
I'm alright now, but what about you?
My leg is sprained and I have some bandages on my cuts, so I'm okay. It could definitely be worse.
You're right, it could. I press her close one more time before releasing her. Monika walks over and gives Sayori a hug while Julia joins us and hands me my discharge papers.
Are you all ready to leave? Mm-hmm. Yep.
Of course. Let's get the hell out of here already.
Monika, we're going to take you home first, then I'm going to drop Zero and Sayori off next.
Sayori's gonna be staying with me at my house.
Huh? Normally I would be extremely against that, but honestly, you're probably on the right track about that, Zero.
Many of the people who caused this shit to happen tonight are still active. Going to your house isn't a safe thing to do. It'd be better if you stayed with me tonight. So if anything happens, I'm at least able to do something about it quickly.
I guess.
Sayori's face flushes and she looks off to the left. Monika nods and starts to follow us out. Sayori stays by my side and slowly grasps my hand in hers. The car ride to Monika's house was quiet and serene. Mainly because both Monika and Sayori were both sleeping the entire way. I even caught myself dozing off a few times throughout the ride. The exhaustion that's overcoming me is almost too much to really bear at this moment. The stress of nearly losing Sayori is much more hard on my body than the actual physical pain and work was. Speaking of which, stress actually has a way of fatiguing people more than an extreme workout. And boy, do I know that. Every so often, I feel Sayori's grasp of my hand tighten slightly as she fades through the levels of consciousness. It's actually kind of heartwarming to see. This poor girl has been through so much tonight. She didn't deserve any of it. After we stop at Monika's place, Monika wakes up and gives everyone a quiet goodbye. We watch until she goes into her house, and even until a minute after, just to make sure she's okay afterward. When we pull away from the driveway, Julia looks back and at Sayori grasps my hand tightly while sound asleep. She smiles and turns her head back toward the road. I know I never really tell you this, Julia, but thank you for everything earlier.
Don't mention it, kid.
Kid. She doesn't call me that in years. Whenever she did, she was usually in an emotional mood or state. Whereas Ashley would joke around with, she's on her period. But it's pretty evident that it's not the case here. She's probably just as emotionally strained tonight as I was. Eventually, I pull up to Sayori's driveway. I gently wake Sayori up. Both her and Julia exit the car and enter her house to gather some clean clothes. After they return, Julia drops both of us off in my house. Sayori seems too tired to even walk, so I try my best to help her up the stairs and into my bed. After placing the blanket over her, I turn and start to walk out of the room. But Sayori calls out my name, stopping me in my tracks.
Zero?
Eh? What is it, Sayori?
Is it too much to ask if you sleep with me tonight? I kind of don't want to be alone.
Sure. Give me just a second to turn off the light downstairs.
Okay.
After going downstairs, turning off the lights, making sure every window and door is locked, and doing final checks, I return to the room. Sayori is swaddled up in the blanket waiting for me. I gingerly slide next to her in bed, and immediately she puts her arms around me and starts to cuddle. Eh?
You're so warm. He.
Weirdo. I wrap my good arm around her and let her nuzzle into my chest. After almost a minute, I hear gentle coos coming from her. Wow, she must have been really tired to fall asleep that fast. Or really comfortable. And to be honest, this is actually something I enjoy right here. Sayori's warm. She smells good despite all that happened earlier, and, well, she's important to me. I've really been able to experience much of something like this. I'm going to take advantage of the opportunity and finally relax. After all that's happened, I know I need rest. And so does she. And I can finally do that. What's that noise? And we're gonna stop it here.
Oh.
Ooh, but what's that noise? Don't you love cliffhangers? So yeah, so far, very, very nice route. Nice route. So far. I liked it all. I don't really know what I don't think I have any opinions so far. Like I said, it's just pretty nice. Nice. They got out. Everything seems all right. Everyone was acting in character. Not like I have any character problems here. Well, I mean, not have any character problems here as of right now. Monika's acting like Monika. Sayori's acting like Sayori.
Uh-huh.
Thus, so on and so forth. Now, I would have had a problem if Monika was like, "Yes, Julia, I need you to come with me to the doctor." Then I'd have a problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do have any problems with this so far. But yeah, that is it. For those who want to play this for yourself, the link is actually available now. It is in the description down below. And you can play it. So if you are just really waiting for me, but you're able to play DDLC mods, you can go and play the rest of it yourself if you really want to. Then you can come back and see my reactions to things. But yeah, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been Zero. Peace.
I'm a chef at this masquerade, hiding both face and mind, afraid for you to draw. I'm a chef, what a strategy, but don't take off my mask, revealing the